Oh, wow.
Medical concussion.
From the crowd singing.
trampled.
Right. Those big crowd things are
It was,
a big deal.
it was scary.
So what was the deal with it?
Vehicles.
So he was on drugs.
Are you good to go?
Yeah, okay.
Kids in a stroller.
I now call the August 5th, 2025 Finance Committee meeting to order at 6:45 PM. Consideration of claims. The chair would entertain a motion for the approval of claims.
Your Honor, consideration of claims to be paid in the amount of $430,577.26. Manual checks in the amount of $127,949.66. Payroll and liabilities for 7/11/25 and 7/25 of 2025 in the amount of $592,349.59 for a total of $1,150,876.51. That was a mouthful.
I second that.
I have a motion by Councilwoman Johnson and a second by Councilwoman Pearson Lewis to recommend consideration of claims to be paid in the amount of $430,577.26. Manual checks in the amount of $127,949.66. Payroll and liabilities for July 11th and July 25th in the amount of $592,349.59 for a total of $1,150,876.51. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Is there anything additional to come before the Finance Committee, Director Harris?
Mr. Chair, I have nothing else to add. Thank you.
Perfect. Without objection, we'll adjourn the meeting at 6:47 PM. Thank you.
Thank you.
I need to make a loud noise.
Get it together.
You guys, oh, yeah, sure. One can please rise and remove cover.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank thee so much for the blessing to be here tonight, for all these community members that are here as well. We're so grateful for the blessing to be able to serve our community and to be able to help Riverton to become a better community and have a better future. And please help us tonight to have guidance in our discussions, to be able to help us listen to the community members with respect, and to help us lead with integrity. Please help our first responders, our police, our fire, and our emergency members. Help them to be safe and strong as they protect us. And please also help our teachers and the students as they go back to school to have energy and patience and joy as the new year begins. Please help us work together tonight to reflect care and courage and commitment to all. And we say this in the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen.
All right, thank you. Ms. Harris, if you could conduct the roll call.
Yes, Your Honor. Councilmember Eric Carr.
Here.
Councilmember Rebecca Pearson-Lewis.
Here?
Councilmember Mike Bailey.
Here.
Councilmember Carla Borders.
Absent.
Councilmember Kyle Larson.
Absent.
Councilmember Karen Johnson. Mayor Tim Hancock.
I'm here. I'd entertain a motion to excuse council members Borders and Larson from tonight's meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Carr, second by Councilman Bailey. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. I vote aye. Motion passes. I declare we have a quorum. I'd entertain a motion for the approval of the agenda with the removal of police lieutenant from item 19, introduction and oath of office.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Carr with the motion. Councilwoman Johnson with the second. Any discussion? Our lieutenant is here. He's actually at the National Night Out, which is great. It was good to see him again.
Yeah.
But his family's not. So he didn't want to get sworn in without having his family. They're going to be here tomorrow, though. I'll take his word for it. You may
Yes,
think
they
you
should be
know.
Here tomorrow, depending on whether or not it's closing time for his house, so yes.
Ah, okay.
What is pending?
Well, we're excited to have him. All right, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. I vote aye. Motion passes. I will say I really loved that I could hear the Pledge of Allegiance being said by some small voices.
Oh, that's so cute.
That was a lot of fun. So you can vote aye on things if you want to, too. It's totally fine. All right. Retirement recognition, which is partly why I think we have some small voices here. So Justin Hayes, Public Works Director's report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Honorable Mayor. If Justin wouldn't mind joining me at the podium in front, and also his family, his wife, and I see 5 of his 6 grandkids here as well, which is amazing. Well, many of you know that Mr. Hayes is retiring from the airport effective this week. And it's no small thing since he has put in over 31 years at the airport. The other figure I had in my head, which is pretty impressive, is I think between you and your wife, you have 33 years married, which means as you met 2 years before you started the city of Riverton, and you also met when you, if I remember correctly, you met as a sophomore in high school and married right after you graduated senior year. Yep. Which today I think is even more impressive. marriage is impressive, marriage is difficult, marriage is great, but it's also, but also beyond that, that probably is what allowed you to do 31 years at the airport as well. So 20.
I'm easy to get along with.
No, okay, moving, no. So 27 years at the airport, 31 years with the city. Also of that, I have Fire Officer 1 and 2, hazmat, and an ARF responder, which ARF stands for Airport, you have to help me with that.
Airport Rescue Firefighter.
And then also a firefighter, an airport certified firefighter since April of 1999. So no small resume for this man. He's going to be missed. He's an incredible asset to the airport, and also I would say a staple at the airport. And so, as a small token of appreciation from the city, present you with a key. Okay, very good. All right.
Well, thank you.
And ask how many karat gold that is.
Don't abuse it. That gets you everywhere.
I need this to get him some places to do some extinguishers now. I retired, but I really didn't. I told her I was retired. She said, nah, so she bought me a job. So now I'm your fire extinguisher guy, and I'm busy all the time. So I won't have time to sit and go, oh, where's the airport at? I'll be all over the county doing fire. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely.
Well, Justin, certainly appreciate all your service over the years, both law enforcement and up at the airport. And thank you very much for being willing to serve our community in a lot of different capacities. And you and your wife both. I know that you've both been very involved in a lot of different organizations that benefit the citizens of Riverton. So just want to wholeheartedly tell you thank you, and you're appreciated. And I hope you enjoy your quasi-retirement. I'm not trying to say your wife is sending a message, but if she's trying to get you a job, she probably doesn't want you necessarily around the house twiddling your thumbs. So, probably good. All right, up next, council committee reports, council members roundtable. Councilwoman Johnson, why don't we start with you, since you're the lone wolf over there and
No,
nobody wants to sit next to you.
I'm good with that. That's okay. So I didn't attend any meetings or have any scheduled meetings. I did do quite a bit, though, over the past few weeks. I had an opportunity to participate in a community leadership, UW Community Engagement Initiative that a young lady by the name of Miriam Asaba was conducting. It was to better understand concerns and needs, excuse me, of Wyoming community leaders, changes that communities are navigating, and interest in potential programming from a new University of Wyoming center. So they asked a lot of questions as to, things that we're facing in the community, things that we see could use improvement, just challenges that elected officials face. And then they will provide a copy of that report, and I will be happy to supply that once that comes out. They're thinking the end of August sometime is when they will have that completed. What else did I do? I attended the opening of the RHS auditorium. I was lucky enough, my daughter, Angel, she had played Charlie in their production Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and she was invited back to perform as an alumni. And she sang her song, and it was wonderful. That place is absolutely amazing, what they have done up there. That was a really good recognition for Miss Annette Thornton for her years of dedication to the students and all the fun she's done over the years. So it was just amazing. I think it holds 550 people is what I saw in there. But truly an amazing place, and it was a really, really, really neat production. Long, but really good, and I was excited to be there and see that. Did some weed work around town. It's starting to look a little better. There's still a lot of areas that need addressed, but I think for the most part, a lot of it is getting taken care of. I did spend a few nights down at the fair and enjoyed some of that. And the one thing that I did get to do that I kind of wanted to share some information on, I had an opportunity to meet with our city attorney, Mr. Sollers, regarding some of the criminal activity that we see around town, and just to get his take on things and have some understanding and converse a little bit. We had a great visit, asked the age-old burning question that everybody has: why do we keep seeing the same people's name in the paper over and over and over again? And really what it comes down to is cost, is what was determined. I believe he said it was $75 a day. And just to kind of put that into perspective, when people say, you know, why aren't we throwing the book at them, or why isn't the judge doing this, or why isn't the judge doing that? One person on a 6-month stint is it's to the tune of $13,500 for one person. And on days like they had a couple weekends ago where they made 20-some arrests, that's just not something that the city can sustain. It's not affordable. A lot of these folks are given an opportunity to go to inpatient treatment, however they choose jail over treatment, and we just can't afford to keep them in jail. We did go over a lot of options, discussed a lot of things. We talked about community service, having the judge issue community service, and he brought up a really interesting fact on that. A lot of these folks are not in good health. And some of them are in wheelchairs, and some of them, they're just not in good health. You can't order somebody to do physical labor who's not in good health. And so that answers that question, why we can't just do community service for that. But we had a lot of really good discussion. And I think some of it will come out a little later, what we talked about, but he did shine light on quite a bit of it. So that was nice to be able to actually sit down and talk to him. Other than that, that's all I have. I won't take up much more time. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for giving us a little bit of the rundown of the conversation. That's helpful to know. Mr. Bailey. Councilman.
Thank you. Again, we had our long recess. July was a 5 Tuesday month, so we didn't meet the last 2 weeks, so I did not have any official meetings. But last week was Fair Week, and so there was a lot of stuff going on, and I think the community participated very well, and there was a lot of stuff and some great events in the evenings, and I attended the fair sale on Saturday. Over 210 participants in that sale that sold their animals. And I talked with Lynette Jeffries earlier today, and the sale generated a little over $900,000. They have not got the total number done.
Gosh,
So,
wow.
as normal in this community, people were very generous.
Yes.
There was a lot of people. They had over 35 new
Holy smokes.
buyers that were registered this year, and so they had a lot of participation. And so it's really, to me, a very neat thing to watch our community and the way they get out and support the different events that are in our community. And, you know, like any community, we got things going on that are not so desirable, but we have a lot of people that really contribute very much to this community, and so thank you to them. That's about all I have.
Okay. Thank you. Councilwoman Pearson Lewis.
Yeah, thanks. I actually do have quite a bit on my list, so I'm going to try to go through it, but I'll be as succinct as possible. I did have a few official meetings and several things to address that people met with me about, but I'll start with the auditorium. I was wondering who that person was that sang that song. So you
Now you-
said that. My internal jaw dropped. She was phenomenal.
Thank you.
Yes.
She is, but I'm partial.
My daughter also sang a song too. She did the 6 language, I speak 6 languages.
Oh, how nice.
The one that did the split. That was my daughter. A lot of our daughters and sons sang in that play because Miss Annette Thornton has brought a lot of joy to this community. I will tell you, there's just, Riverton is fantastic. We're talking about the fair. We have all these just wonderful, talented things, whether it be, ranching and fair things, or the arts, We go over there and somebody said to me, I didn't know we had all these talented singers. I was like, I did. We have like the best singers around. I mean, you just can't beat it. Yeah, I was wondering. My jaw dropped whenever she sang. I was like, this is fantastic. But we have this great auditorium now, and I'm already getting these emails like, oh, meet in the auditorium at 8 in the morning on the 12th. I'm like, I'll be there. So it's going to be exciting. So we have school starting, and this fantastic new community center that we'll be able to do things that our kids are going to be able to do things in. That's just another way to bring people together. So that's one of the things that I did and that several other community members did over the last, 3 weeks. But I did, one of the official meetings that I had was, that I want to start out with, was we had the rec board meeting yesterday. We went over audit figures and they are looking really good. But there was this big, to-do in the state about things like this. Our legislatures are kind of worked up about it. But we had Cody Beers, Renee Moss, and Terry Kuchera doing a really good job on this. And the numbers are looking really good. And so I just wanted to report back on that. The next meeting on that is going to be September 8th, 7 p.m. City Hall. They didn't do the first week because it's Labor Day. So just reporting on that. That's for the rec board. And then, we had the ribbon cutting for the auditorium. The next thing was we had the RHS all-class reunion, which went really well. Had a big turnout for that, for the balloon rally and all that. I actually DJ'd for the all-class reunion. So that went really good. We have the Riverton Youth Council that's going to be sworn in really soon. Stay tuned. We're going to have a city Instagram coming up as soon as they get, in. So just stay tuned for that. I gave a presentation on ChatGPT with the Chamber of Commerce. I just, reporting on some of the things that I'm doing, and I'll tell you, I was really excited because the Chamber of Commerce, and I don't see her here, but it was really great because we're talking about some ways that like maybe the Youth Council and the Chamber can kind of work together and things like that. And but it was kind of cool to kind of talk to her about ChatGPT and kind of how that can work with businesses and everything. Then I had a constituent reach out in Ward 2. She wanted me to just talk about how to please keep your cats in your yard because she said that she couldn't even have a garden this year because she's having issues with that. So I told her I would say something. Keep your cats in your yard, people. And then, sorry, I'm taking so much time, but I had a lot of people reach out. And then the last couple things I want to say, so I wrote a city ordinance that's that we're gonna talk about soon that's dealing with some water and sewer issues. We have people that are like using their home without sewage, and it's causing like some not good, like some problems, and that's happening in Ward 2. And I think we're gonna have a community meeting about it, so stay tuned about that. We'll put it on Facebook. And then I had one person reach out, and Mayor Hancock, this is kind of a question for you to take point on, and also Mr. Butterfield. They want to know, and this is an important question, about, we got this information about the multi-sports complex. What are we going to do next? Can we do a work session? Can we do, like, I had several people actually ask, like, about that. And this is kind of a tie-in with the RHS all-class reunion. I guess she said that she kept hearing, Riverton used to be so great when, and we're, and I thought, oh, I hate to hear that, And so we have all this information, all this data that we received, and she said, this individual told me that, like, she's like, I have people that would love to take this off the ground, but you guys have the data. Can we have a community meeting about it? Can we have a work session about it? There needs to be follow-through from us on this. So my question is to you right now, what are we gonna do? And that's my last thing.
Good question, I think, and we could definitely talk about that, whether it's a community meeting. I don't know that would necessarily need to be a work session, but something, I think, could be good to get some feedback and some discussion and that sort of thing.
Like a community meeting, can we, like, how do we plan that, and who plans it, and?
Well, usually what we would start with is saying, hey, Kyle.
I know, I was like, Kyle, so sorry.
um,
Don't you have minions yet? I mean, who are your minions?
That's usually what we start with is, hey, Kyle, and then it just kind of comes from there. I guess, what are your thoughts about what we could have that look like? I mean, we do want to have it be something that's productive. I sometimes worry about just having something that's open that, I don't mean open. Of course we want it to be open, but what I mean is just.
Well, we can have an agenda for it. There's nothing wrong with an agenda.
We need to have some sort of an agenda for it. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Mr. Butterfield?
Your Honor, I think it's a great idea to do some follow-up on that. I believe the city did the responsible thing by using a grant, hiring a consultant, and looking at all aspects as it relates to an activity center or a multi-sport center. It was clear from the community surveys, the stakeholder meetings, that this is something that the community desires, and it would be a good fit for the needs of our community. As a governing body, I think this is the appropriate question, and that is what do you do next? Because I believe you now have the data you need to start making some decisions. Obviously, as you move forward, you're going to have to consider the financial implications of a facility like this. I think it would be beneficial to explore as many partners as you can as it relates to fundraising for construction, visioning the design of it, the location of it, and then the ongoing operations. So I think the question is perfect, and whether that's handled in community meetings or stakeholder meetings or a work session, either could accomplish that goal, and maybe we as staff can start fleshing that idea out and then also receive your direction on how you want to handle that.
I guess we could talk more about it offline and what that could look like. I do think definitely trying to get rec boards involved. I mean, the School District 25 rec board, I think, would be appropriate. The county rec board, I think, would be appropriate. The school board, I mean, there's a lot of different people that I think should be involved. The senior center, right? I mean, as much as we've talked about this, one of the things we've talked about is having this be something that's open to all ages. So not just children, but also the senior center, other senior organizations. I guess in terms of what that looks like, we can keep talking offline and figure that out, but I agree. Okay, sounds good. Councilman Carr.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have several things, but I'll start with, we do have a planning commission meeting on August 7th. We'll be doing a variance consideration. So if you're interested in that, please stop by. It's at 5:30 Thursday evening. Wanted to send a huge thank you out to the Rendezvous Committee and specifically Max for the wonderful job with the balloon rally. It was a great 3 days, so thank you. It's very rare that we get to fly all 3 days. Having been involved with that for several years, it's near and dear to my heart, and you guys are doing an amazing job, so thank you. Also, with the Day in the Park, the Friday night cruise, everything that was going on, just thank you to all the volunteers. It takes an army to put those on. Speaking of Fair Week, we probably had the coolest average temperature for the entire week, so that was awesome. Sometimes it's really hot down there, so that made it very enjoyable. I also did see the YDOT street sweeper out today. So are they working in conjunction with the city while ours is down? Or was,
Your Honor, if it's okay, I'd like to have Brendan Tillman answer that question.
Yeah, Honorable Mayor, members of the council, YDOT has partnered with the city to help on Main Street and North Federal. We approached them and asked them a couple times if they'd like to help out. Once we hadn't given them enough notice right before an event, and then later on I caught back up with them, and they said absolutely. And I also said the city can provide fuel, the city can provide an area to dump. They said, we're good, thanks, we'll do it for free. So
Wow.
it was very nice of them, yeah.
well done. Thank you. That was really nice to see.
Yeah, thanks for bringing it up.
And I believe that, oh, don't forget the Rotary Shoe Drive. We will have a truck down at Fremont Ford, and we're going to try and fill up the bed of a truck with gently worn shoes that will be distributed in impoverished nations so that they can start businesses. So please don't forget about that. And that's all I have.
Mr. Butterfield?
Thank you, Your Honor. I just have a few things and would like to piggyback off of what Councilman Carr brought up, and that is we just benefit so much from the activities and the community service members and the organizations that throw great events for Riverton in the summer. We have staff members that support these events, and they don't happen without blood, sweat, and tears. And so I want to say thank you for that, because the events are always very well attended. They're a success for our community, and I think it just shows the spirit that we have here in Riverton. To that end, I also want to highlight the National Night Out that it's going on right now. I had opportunity to stop by before the meeting, and there was participation, obviously, from the Riverton Police Department, but from many other law enforcement entities in the county. And I think that just shows over the last few years, people supporting this event and providing opportunity for the public to engage with their police departments. It was great to see the different chiefs of police from other entities. It was fun to see the sheriff's office there. It was fun to see Game and Fish there. So again, that didn't happen without the blood, sweat, and tears of a lot of people. And I want to say thank you to them. Thank you for Lieutenant who's here and helping take the place of the chief while the chief is still buttoning things up, and I always appreciate his leadership and assistance. I also have to do a specific shout out to Officer Emily Moss. She was the only one in the dunk tank, and it just seemed that she wasn't getting a break from that dunk tank. And I happen to know that 2 Butterfield children cheated when they were participating in the dunk tank. And anyway, I just saw that, and Officer Moss was a good sport and was frequently ending up in that dunk tank, and it was all for, I think, the joy of the community. So it was just fun to see everybody together. Moving on to a few items that are coming up as far as meetings go. It was mentioned the Planning Commission is this Thursday at 5:30, and again, this is a meeting that's open to the public, and it would be valuable to have members of the public there, especially as the commission considers a variance to one of the zoning ordinances. The Fix Our Road Citizen Committee will be meeting this Monday at 11 a.m. That will be here, but in the bullpen area of City Hall, and we would definitely welcome the public to be here and attend that meeting, as they'll provide they'll provide feedback for future opportunities on the use of the optional 1% tax. The airport board will not meet this Friday, but next Friday, and that will be at 8 a.m. And again, all these meetings are open to the public, and we welcome their public's attendance and participation. I've mentioned this the last few opportunities in council meeting, and that is, I just encourage folks to take pride in Riverton, and as they look at their individual properties, to take care of the weeds and the trash that they have on their properties. We really appreciate it when folks band together and make Riverton a great place. I also have said this to several of our constituents in town, that the city takes very seriously the boundary between the government getting onto someone else's private property. And we respect that barrier and that line. And so we do have code enforcement protocols. We encourage folks to maintain their property, but we do provide notice to those that are violating and give them opportunity to comply. To that end, I appreciated the opportunity. I've noticed a few areas in town that are becoming overgrown with weeds, and the chief and I specifically drove around for about an hour yesterday just to identify those and give opportunity for folks to comply with our ordinances. So we appreciate it when folks take care of their weeds and their trash, because it just makes Riverton look better for everybody. Finally, I want to provide updates on a few public works projects. Folks will have noticed that there is a slurry sill project going on throughout town. This is supported by the optional 1% tax, and it's a great way to ensure that the pavements we have stay in good condition. And it's also a cost-effective way to address as many streets as possible. So thanks to the Public Works Department and the Fix Our Road Citizen Committee for planning that project. We're also seeing some road striping going on throughout town currently, and I want to ensure folks understand that and are aware that the Riverview Road project is currently being advertised, or will be advertised for bid this Saturday, and the bids will be opened on August 28th, and we're looking for a completion date for that project in October of 2026. This will be a significant improvement to one of the major corridors in our community. It's also a project that is a partnership between Fremont County and the city of Riverton. And I know Justin and his family have left, but I'd be remiss to not thank him for his service. I had opportunity to supervise Justin when I was Public Works Director. We appreciate his service to the city, and Justin's just the type of guy that's very friendly. I remember my first year here, he had a lot of points of advice for me on hunting and on which guns to purchase, and I appreciated that. He let me know about a few good fishing holes too. And then his wife, Terry, is very involved in the community, and in that first year, I appreciated her friendship as I participated in Leadership Fremont County. So it's great to see him come to the end of a successful career. It's also great to see that Terry's got him busy for his next career. And even though he's not here, it's nice to publicly recognize him.
And are you going to share the locations of those fishing holes?
You got to talk to Justin about that.
That's right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay, a couple of things. We are right now have the National Night Out going on. A little bit regrettable that that's on the first Tuesday of the month in August. It's a national thing, so we do it at the same time that everybody else does it, but it makes it a little bit difficult. I use that as an excuse to evade the dunk tank this year. I will do better at planning on it ahead of time, and I'll make sure I'm dunked next year. I needed a year off.
We'll bring towels.
I will say, here's what I have said. The way that they do it right now is you get dunked for free. I'm not really thrilled at the idea of getting dunked for free. I would rather, if you want to throw a ball to see if you can dunk me, I'd do it for $5 a ball, and it would go to FCLEF, Fremont County Law Enforcement Fund, or to Eagles Hope, or to PAWS, any of those organizations, but I'm not cheap. That's all I'm saying. But they did look like they were having a lot of fun, and I will say, Emily, Officer Moss, we need to have some recognition because she put in a lot of work over there, and that initial excitement with all the kids there, that they're over there throwing ball after ball after ball, and she was willing to take the brunt of that was amazing. I did encourage Officer Netha Kamara. You may be aware that Officer Netha Kamara is our traffic enforcement officer, which means he has probably just about more contact with the public than anyone. and it's not necessarily contact people may like. So I said of all the officers that should be doing this, it should be Don. He did not volunteer. But I will say the one who did, and I was impressed with him too, was Detective Sergeant Eric Smits. He took the next turn and was very willing to be dunked. And that's when I had to leave to come to the meeting, and people were saying, hey, Mayor, you should do it. And I said, it's too late. You had your chance. You could have asked me earlier, you didn't. And the time has passed. But they did think it might be fun if I came here wet. I don't know if that would be fun. But it is warm out there. I probably would have dried quickly. Anyway, but National Night Out is a lot of fun. I really appreciate our chief who puts in a lot of work, and all of our community partners who put in a lot of work from the very beginning with that. They planned that for months, and I think it's a great event, and it was a lot of fun to have it over at the fire hall this year, so great time. I was invited, although I wasn't able to attend, the birthday celebration for one of our residents at Wind River Rehab, who turned 103 years old last month. I don't know how big of a deal it would be to share her name. I know WILLOW Today was invited. I don't know if they went there. I think they did. But I thought that that was something I would have loved to attend it. I had something else going on, a jury trial. And so that's probably about the only thing I would have used as an excuse not to go to that, because when I was invited, I was excited and I wanted to be able to show my support. But happy birthday. It was a lot of fun to be invited to that. I'm sorry I missed it. Mr. Bailey and I had the opportunity to judge the parade. I don't know how well we did. I don't know if we agreed. I need to look at find out who won what. We might have disagreed. Luckily, it was like a blind ballot, so I don't know what he rated high and what I rated high, or there might have been some like ties or something too.
There was a lot of candy thrown.
There was a lot of candy.
Well, that's normal.
And there was some bribery too, because people would come by and specifically give candy to the judges. And that did not sway us. Well, it didn't sway me, did it sway you? Okay, yeah. It was really fun, though. It was a good parade. It was a pretty good day for it, actually. It wasn't too hot. And really appreciate the Fremont County Fair and the work that people put in for that. My children and my wife had a lot of different things that they put into fair. Paintings, drawings, photography. My son did a little, out of like not popsicle sticks, but like toothpicks and stuff, did a drum set as an art thing. It was just very fun.
Johnny do that?
Royce.
Royce did that? Oh,
Yeah.
I want to see it.
Yeah. But it was a lot of fun, and fair is always a great opportunity. I also was able to attend and helped out with Bubbles, the balloon. Sounds weird, like I'm referring to it as a person. But I was able to crew for one of the balloons for the Rendezvous Balloon Rally. It was a great time. We had a good turnout. We had 2 balloons that were able to glow. That was good. I will say that, what was it, 2 years ago when we had a full glow and it was just awesome. Still wish we could have a night that just didn't have the wind. But I will say our black balloon, so let's see, that's Cloud Kisser 5 or 4. Okay, I knew I was close. It was within 1. Cloud Kisser 4, when it lights up, when it does a glow, it has a little bit of an after image because it's black, and that was awesome. I hadn't realized that would happen with a black balloon, but I was like, okay, we need to do this more often. Just on a regular night, we just need to kind of be like, okay, we're gonna go get Cloud Kisser 4 out and have it glow. Also had the opportunity to attend FCAG. I did not get the opportunity to attend the whole meeting because I had some competing obligations, but we had a good meeting. I would say that we've continued to try to visit about what we can do for discussing funding in terms of what that will look like. We haven't been able to reach an agreement as to what a committee would look like to discuss funding key services. Basically, the joint powers agreement for FCAG gives authority as the chair to create a committee. So since we weren't able to get an agreement as to what it would look like, I said, look, I'll create a committee and then we'll come back and figure out and the board can decide to approve it. So that's what we're doing. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll be back to discuss that a little bit more. We also discussed, we now have for WRTA and for FCAG, there's been a discussion for many years, the possibility of health insurance for employees there, and just approved that at our most recent meeting. We were able to get a favorable quote that we felt was within the budget, and so it was a good opportunity to do that. Naturally, we're worried about the future in terms of funding for WRTA going forward, but we figure we can't get so worried about that we're not taking care of our employees and making sure we have the right people in the right positions. So after some discussion, we agreed to provide health insurance. So that was a good opportunity, and I was glad we were able to do that. Anyway, didn't mean to go off on that for so long, but a lot of different things going on, and appreciate really all that our community is doing. I think, as everyone else has said, we have a very involved community. They do a lot of really good things, and I just appreciate how much work goes into it from city staff and from the community members that support good organizations. So, communication from the floor, citizens' comments. If there's anyone in the audience that wishes to address the council on an item that's already set for a public hearing, you'll be given an opportunity to speak during that public hearing. If you would like to speak about something that's set for an agenda item, but it doesn't have a public hearing attached to it, just get my attention while we're discussing it, and we'll let you speak during that time. If you speak then, if you speak now, if you speak when that agenda item comes up, we'd ask that you keep your comments to 5 minutes. For individuals, if you're part of a group, keep 10 minutes. I have a timer on my phone. It'll beep when it's time for you to be done. There's not going to be like a shepherd's crook that's going to come out and pull you from the stage and beat you up backstage. It's just that we ask to do that as a courtesy and to keep things moving along in the meeting so you're not rambling like I just was. If you want to speak on another item that's not set for an agenda item, then feel free to come up now. This would be the time to do it. I'd ask you to address all comments and questions to the chair, refrain from making comments of a personal nature that might reflect on the character or conduct of another person, personal criticism, ridicule, name-calling. Ask you to keep your items directed to the issue under consideration. So if you're speaking during an agenda item, keep your comments to that item. But other than that, please come up, tell us your name and the organization you're with, and tell us what you want to talk about.
Good evening. I am Becky Kenyon with FCLEF, and I do have a few little pamphlets, but really what I was going to talk about tonight is that we are planning a golf tournament for September 14th. We are still looking for hole sponsors and for team sponsorships. Our goal is to get one team from each law enforcement agency in Fremont County to be sponsored so that they can just come and enjoy themselves. Some of the things, I don't remember when we were last at a meeting, so you just get to hear about everything we've done. So since we started in January of 2024, we have been able to fund 6 ergonomic chairs for Riverton Police Department, financial assistance for a DCI-based training in Riverton, 12 sets of AED pads for Riverton Police Department, equipment, belts, and accessories for DuBois Police Department, 2 refrigerators for Riverton Police Department for dispatch in the squad room, meals from the food trucks for officers and their families during Friday night cruise, meals from the food trucks during Fremont County Fair for officers and staff on duty. And in 2025, we have been able to get a barbecue smoker for Riverton police officers to use while on shift to cook meals, 4 computer stations for Fremont County Sheriff's Office, Riverton Division, and this was like the complete laptop, everything, like new mice and keyboards and everything, so they didn't have to rummage through the county stuff to find stuff, meals, snacks, and waters for Riverton Police Department, tactical multi-day training, temporary housing for Riverton Police Department Lieutenant, meals from the food trucks during the Friday night cruise, and we just granted meals for another training. So the money that we raise truly just stays here in Fremont County. There is a grant process that officers go through to get the funding, and we are able to normally get grants approved or not approved within about 3 days. And that just kind of depends on where everybody's at. I think the only grant requests we have not funded are ones that came from somebody who was not law enforcement, and one that we just couldn't legally do. So, any questions?
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much for supporting our local law enforcement. It means a lot. And like I said, I'd get dunked for you guys.
I will say fclef.org is our website, and it has links to everything you want to do. If you want to make monthly donations, we accept them. So, and that's on there. And then also, if you want to register for the golf tournament will be in Lander. And part of the reason we're doing that is because it's cheaper. And we don't have a lot of money to just be throwing around on everything. We try and keep all of our expenses so low and just be able to give out money, which, oh, and I just thought of something. There was another grant, and it's not on here. We also purchased e-citation software for Du Bois Police Department. They did not have that, and so we were able to purchase that software for them.
That means everybody in the county has it now, I think.
If you're asking me, I have no idea.
Yeah, I know. Everybody in the county has it.
I just know that Du Bois, that was one of the requests that they came through with, and so.
Oh, nope, the county doesn't have it. Everybody in the county but.
The sheriff's office doesn't?
Nope.
Oh, good.
You might want to talk to them.
Okay, really, I'm just the money person. I just write out the checks. That's it. And I'm here because it's National Night Out, and we have people that are down there. And so we didn't want to wait until the next meeting. We want everybody to know about the golf tournament. And even if you don't golf and can't come, whole sponsorships are $150. And the team sponsorships, or team, if you want to sign up, we want teams to sign up too, it's $300. So that's as much as I have.
Thank you for the information. And I'm sorry to be hassling you about the
No, you're fine.
county sheriff's office.
They were so excited just to get new computers
Yeah, I bet.
that, and we were only able to fund partially. They requested more, but we didn't have the funds to do all of them, but they were so excited that they didn't have to wait 45 minutes for their computers to boot up. And I think that those are very real things that budgets are hard. Everybody thinks that their stuff is the most important and they need this. And that's kind of where we want to step in and be able to help out, is like with the sheriff's department, they don't have the funds to get these new computers, but 45 minutes when you're waiting on a computer is really like 5 years.
Yeah.
So,
Well, thank you, Becky.
all right, I'm done. Let me know. We also have email, and if you email us, we get back to you really fast. So, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Your Honor,
Councilwoman Johnson.
she does far more than just handle the money. I'm going to put that out there right now. I am not, I helped develop that board.
Thank you.
But they have completely taken over, and that messaging system that they have it goes on clear up until midnight some nights with stuff that they're working on, and they work incredibly hard for our law enforcement throughout the county. And they've even, I'm gonna spill the beans a little bit, just
Okay.
with what little bit I know, but they have now reached out to even retired law enforcement to get involved. So they're reaching further and they've got a really good showing. So I really hope people are
So-
supporting and they go out and they sign up for this golf tournament and have fun doing it.
So part of that is that we are a board of 5 people. And 5 people can get a lot done, but we can't do everything. And after we did our second dinner, we said, oh, maybe we need to have volunteers to help us out with stuff. So we have brought in volunteers to help do the fundraising parts. We're still involved. Like, we have a meeting tomorrow night too. But we brought in more people to help. So it's not just the 5 of us and whatever family members we can recruit.
Your entire team is amazing.
So yeah,
A lot of
it's a really good board and we work well together, so, but yes. So anybody who wants to come golf with us. It'll be fun.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, we'll move on. Ms. Harris, if you could please read the consent agenda items by title only.
Yes, Your Honor. Approval of the minutes, July 15th, 2025, regular council meeting. Approval of the minutes, August 5th, 2025, Finance Committee meeting. Approval of the Finance Committee recommendations, August 5th, 2025. Approval of the municipal court report for the month of June and July 2025. An amendment to the Finance Committee minutes, July 1st, 2025.
All right, items requiring further discussion.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir?
the Finance Committee met at 6:45 PM this evening and recommend approval of consideration of claims to be paid in the amount of $430,577.26, manual checks in the amount of $127,949.66, payroll and liabilities for July 11th and July 25th in the amount of $592,349.59, for a total of $1,150,876.51.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Johnson with the motion, Councilman Bailey with the second. Any discussion? I guess just for the interest of the public, in case you're wondering what is going on with this amendment to the Finance Committee minutes. Well, here's what's going on. We had a typo in the minutes. We have very good staff, I think, that picked up on that, if I'm not mistaken, and said, hey, we had a 7 and a 6 transposed here, and we need to fix that. So that's what's going on. But I just wanted to commend whichever staff member that may have been, Ms. Harris.
Your Honor, I'll have to give credit to Max Batista as he was
Good.
putting some minutes together.
Well done. Thank you, Mr. Batista. Appreciate the attention to detail. We want to make sure we're doing things right, and thank you for taking care of that. Any other discussion?
Your Honor, I'll abstain from the Bailey Enterprises line items on the Finance Committee report.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. I vote aye. Motion passes. Optional half-cent excise tax for economic development presentation, Epic Salon Spa. Well, I guess, Ms. Harris, do you have anything to report first? I just kind of looked at Ms. Wright and was going to let her take it away.
I'll just do a quick intro.
Sure.
As you all know, we've awarded several different entities funding for the 0.5% economic development tax. And while the tax did not pass at the last ballot initiative, we did have some contractual agreements with the individuals that received the funding. And a portion of that agreement was that they would be reporting on the status of their projects and their funding and share how that has impacted our local economy. And I don't know if you are familiar with Lisa. She has been before the council several times with regard to her 0.5% funding, and we're glad to have you back tonight to report on your business.
A little thumb drive thing I can put in? The only thing that's on here is just a few pictures, Mr. Mayor and members of the committee. It has been an absolutely busy, incredible, stressful, breathing year this year. I am so appreciative, and so are all of my staff, for this EDGE grant. It's changed a lot of lives. I just have just a few pictures on there to show you of some of the befores and afters, and I think some of you might remember that my husband was the poor tortured man that did 99% of the work in the salon. We were awarded $86,318, and I believe all but about 29,000 of that was spent before we even opened. We bought equipment, we bought stations, we remodeled the entire building. Some of the things that we did and showed pictures of to the city with our building permit actually changed. After we got our building permit, we added 2 more rooms to the building. Do I need to? We added a couple more rooms to the building, which I then went to the city and did a post, I don't exactly remember what it was called, but a post-construction change to what the plans looked like in that. I don't know if you want to let me drive. Perfect, yeah. So, like I said before, I believe all of about 29,000 of it was spent before the building even opened. When we had our grand opening, there was a few members of the council that were there. Some of the half-cent tax voting people were there. There was quite a turnout. We had food and things like that were there. It was pretty stressful. The 29,000 that wasn't spent before opening was actually things that we had ordered and weren't in yet for the parking lot in the back, the curb stops, the solar lighting, all of that stuff. That's all actually being installed the end of this month, just putting crews together to get it done and get them cemented into the barrels so that they can put the light poles in, so that people don't back into the light poles and knock them over. Let's see, what did we do here? Oh, so the building before we took it over was Hub Insurance. Not to say anything negative about the people that were there before, but the carpet was a horrible blue-brown color, and the brown wasn't coloring. It was dirt and years of stuff. The building front looks like that now, actually. Holly with Sweetwater Garden just brought up a couple of big planters that sit in front of those windows now. The bathrooms before were hideous. And yes, that's carpet on the floor of the bathrooms. Those are what the bathrooms look like now. I guess you can't see the floor. Well, you can see the floor in this bathroom. Now, that's the construction. If you look back straight in the back of that picture, right back here, you can see the back door. That no longer, you can't see that anymore because now my husband has changed that with the city as well. And the salon looks like that now. It's all amazingly beautiful. That's the front part of it. There are some of the 11 people, or all of the 11 people listed that have been hired so far. There are 6 of them still left there, with 4 more coming by the end of this year. The turnover in a salon, I guess I didn't realize was, and we had this discussion before, Mr. Bailey. The turnover with the salon has to do with, I guess, their personal growth, their, how to politically correctly say this, their, I guess, desire to work or not to work. That all falls into that category. So that's why 5 of them have fallen off and 6 of them still exist. There are some people that are coming for part-time reasons, and then there are 3 that are coming for full-time by the end of the year. So that's it. That's all
What's your current staff then?
The current staff is 6, 7 including me.
Okay.
And just to kind of share a couple of things, there are some people outside of the salon that we put to work. 307 Weed and Pest does all of our weed control. He was doing some weed control last week and had to stop come back this week because there were wasps' nests on some things that they were pulling out. So there was a few stings that they didn't appreciate, but let me put these together. Our revenue since opening of June 29th of last year, not counting the people that are booth renting, because that's a little different, has been $106,000. So, and then that does not also count the sales tax collected and sent to Beth. So far it's going well.
Good.
Congratulations.
Well, when I went to the opening, it was well-attended, I think. You had a lot of excitement, a lot of good people that were there. Let's see, so what services are you providing right now, then?
I'm not sure if you know a lot about beauty services, pretty much everything except eyelash extensions. We do hair.
That's
cut,
what I
color,
wanted,
Perms,
was some
darn
eyelash
it.
extensions.
You're gonna have to wait until the end of this month, probably September 1 to make an appointment for that, because she's not there yet. Everything, hair, nails, pedicures, some things that some of my friends make jokes about are full body waxing and Brazilians and vajacials and things of a personal nature. Facials, lash lifting and tinting, tooth gems, now ear piercing. We have a barber that is now in there as well, so all of that.
Oh, you guys do ear piercing? It's good to know. I had somebody that was just asking for that on Facebook, and they're like, I don't really want to go to a tattoo parlor.
Yeah, yeah.
For my
We've-
daughter to get her ears pierced.
We had a couple little girls come in last week, and I will tell you, watching their face when they come in, and they're so excited, but they're apprehensive and they don't know what to do, versus their face when they leave, is a game changer.
Oh, how fun. You should advertise that more. I just
Yeah.
say that because I had a Facebook friend that was looking for that.
Yeah, we will.
Now I
I was
know.
looking for the earring.
Oh, it was Mike who was looking.
Well, she
for
just
it.
got
I'll
some
remember.
hoops in, so, you know. But it's going well. I'm very appreciative, and I think that everybody that works there is pretty appreciative. I know that we've got a couple of clients here this evening.
And then, in terms of the agreement, I'm trying to remember what we had said the FTE was. I don't have it in front of me.
December, so 18 months. So now it's been just over 13.
All right. But in terms of, have you reached your goals for how many people were going to be hired and would?
Yes, we've actually surpassed the goals, but with some of them leaving, we're not consistently at that 9, but right now we're at 7 with 4 more coming.
Okay.
So, and I think it's going to be a constant, some come, some leave, some come, some leave. Some argue that they don't want to work, but they want to work 2 days a week, 3 hours a day, and make $1,000 a week. So,
Do you have that as a possibility?
no. That's why that person wasn't there anymore.
That's okay. Just what it is.
So,
Well, I will wait for the eyelash extensions. Any other questions or comments?
Congratulations.
thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you
Was-
for reporting. I don't know, maybe this is just me, but there's been a lot of different media information about the half cent, and I worry about our recipients because I have had some of them that kind of feel like they have to cower and hide just because of some of the criticism that was levied against it. And you have done what you have said you were going to do. You've spent the money you said you were going to spend it on and the way you said you were going to spend it on.
Yeah. I'm
And all of those things are important, and in terms of accountability, you've come here, you've reported on it. We're sorry we missed you, I think it was last month.
Yeah,
you
my
were ill.
apologies for that. I couldn't get through about 3 words without coughing. And I didn't think that you guys wanted to sit through an hour and a half of me coughing for 10 minutes of reporting. It was not pretty.
Yeah. Well, and so you're here, you're reporting, you've been doing what you said you were going to do with the money. I think it's important for people to recognize, and we don't have people attend our meetings, there's not that many out there right now, but we are still getting reports and following up and making sure the money has been spent where it's been said it's going to be spent.
Good.
So I appreciate you coming in and reporting, and I guess keep us updated.
Yes, I'm appreciative. I really thank everybody for the encouragement. And the first time that we were here and it was disappointing, I reached out to the people and I went and had meetings with everybody and said, what can I do better? How can I make this happen? And what can I do to convince you that this is what's going to happen? And it happened, and I was really appreciative. I think, Mia, you've been pretty pretty important in this whole journey, and I really appreciate you. It means a lot. And on that note, I'll give you back your computer.
Say thank you to your husband, please.
I will.
I saw the before and after, and I saw the work he did, and
I'm going to include those in the packet that I give to everybody in December when we do, I guess, our final thing that you guys can all see who didn't see. And I would invite everybody who hasn't come up to see it to come and see it, just to come and walk through and check it out and see kind of where my happy place is now.
well, thanks, Lisa. All right. Public hearing and consideration of ordinance 25, oh,
Okay. Your Honor,
yes, sir.
I'm going to abstain from line item 12 on the agenda because it involves me, and so I will go sit in the audience in case you
All right.
have any questions.
Sounds good. Thank you. We will still have a quorum, so that's good. I was nervous for a minute. Nobody gets to leave, okay? Public hearing and consideration of ordinance 25007, first reading, Stover Edition Alley Vacation. Community Development Director's report, please.
Your Honor, members of the council, thank you. Yes, so we have consideration of vacation of the alley located in the Stover Edition, and just for everyone's information, that is located on West Main. If you're familiar, on the top of the hill where the pit stop is located right now, go one more block east where all the work is going on there, and that's the Stover Edition. And so we have, for the petitioners, we have actually all of the neighbors in the area as petitioners, all 8 of the neighbors. And the petition for the vacation is for 200 feet, for an area of alley that's 200 feet long and 20 feet wide, and it actually ends halfway through the block as it's heading west. Wyoming state statute governs how we are supposed to vacate alleys, specifically Wyoming statute 15-4-305, which states the governing body has the exclusive power and by ordinance, which is what we're looking at tonight, may vacate any highway, street, lane, or alley or portion thereof. No vacation may be ordered upon, except upon petition of a majority of the owners, which we have all of the owners. Owning a majority of the property abutting the portion proposed to be vacated and extending 300 feet in either direction, so off the end of the alley. And the city or town may demand and receive value of the land vacated as consideration, which is something that we discussed back in March for another issue. Like I said, that all of the 8 property owners in the area are petitioners. Utilities were sent, reviews were sent to all the utilities located in the area, and we received no concerns. And going back to the consideration for the property, I put a value of $3,000 on this, which is what we considered for the last alley vacation. Only as a placeholder, I would recommend to the council that the mayor and the council that we actually get a market value analysis from a local realtor. But I wanted to do that for our first reading for this vacation. And also lastly, that the vacation was approved by the Riverton Planning Commission on July 17th, 2025.
Anything else, sir?
That's it, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Ms. Harris, could you please read ordinance 25007 by title only?
Yes, Your Honor. Proposed ordinance number 25-007, an ordinance vacating a dead-end 20-foot alley dedicated to the public to the south of Lot 1A, Stover Addition, replat number 1, and the same to the north of Lots 1 and 2, Block 2, Stover Addition, to the city of Riverton, Wyoming, and demanding value of the land vacated.
Thank you. I'd entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Carr with the motion, Councilwoman Johnson with the second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. I vote aye, motion passes. I declare the public hearing open. Hearing will be conducted in accordance with state statutes and other applicable laws. I'd ask those individuals wishing to address the council to approach the podium and identify yourself for the record. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak?
Seeing none, Your Honor, I'd move to close the public hearing.
have a motion from Councilman Carr to close the public hearing. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilwoman Johnson. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. I vote aye. Motion passes. I declare the public hearing closed. I'd entertain a motion to adopt ordinance 25007 on first reading.
Your Honor, I'd move to approve the adoption of ordinance 25007 with the contingency that we have a market analysis that Director Michaud mentioned.
Okay? I have a motion to adopt ordinance 25007, including a market analysis as indicated. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Pearson Lewis. Discussion.
Is this the same amount of distance that we just did for St. Margaret's?
How does that compare? I think it's a smaller, because it's dead end, I think this is a smaller alley, isn't it, or am I
It's
wrong?
smaller.
Much smaller.
Yes, yes, Your Honor, this alleyway ends halfway through the walk.
And I guess the next question is too, well, not the next question, but the next consideration. When you're talking about the St. Margaret one, another big difference is this is a dead end, right? I was just looking at it, you know, on the, because I was thinking there's a sign there that actually says dead end, I think, as you go down the alley.
There's not. I lived up there for years, and I actually had to visit with where it was actually at. If it's 300 feet, I mean, is it even worth bugging somebody to do a market analysis on?
So the motion as it is now, but I mean, that's, obviously, we can discuss and cuss and discuss.
Yeah.
I would say just set a minimal amount on that,
Well-
$100 per feet, and call it good, because that's such a small amount.
I guess the question that I would have, Mr. Michaud, per foot, what did we end up charging? If we were going to break that down, rather than just saying the same amount, but we said by feet, how would this compare to St. Margaret's?
Your Honor, I did not make that calculation per foot for tonight, but I do feel that in terms of process and what we did in the past and looking forward to setting a precedent in the future, we should get a market value analysis. I would recommend that.
Well, and my recollection when we had Mr. Piplica here,
Had a hard time.
yeah, it wasn't something that he could say for sure. It was like,
There was no comparison value that you
there's
could
not a
do it.
very good comparable. But I will say, he did break it out per foot, if I remember correctly. And if we were going to say something comparable to what we did for St. Margaret's, if we did it, just if you can maybe be prepared for our next meeting, this isn't something that's going to be finalized today. I mean, we have 2 more readings.
Yep.
It would be something interesting to know. Unless you have it, Mr. Butterfield.
Your Honor, I can help with this question. When the fair market analysis was performed, as it related to the alley vacation for St. Margaret's Church, the square foot value placed by Mr. Piplica was 75 cents. The council did accept value lower than that. 75 cents would have brought in a valuation of $4,500. The council chose to accept $3,000 for that alley vacation. I know that as they looked for comparable land valuations, there really wasn't. So really, as this new fair market analysis is considered, there is a comp that exists now, whereas previously there really wasn't a comp. One thing to also think about is the St. Margaret's Alley vacation was in a residential area. This alley vacation is in a residential and commercial area. That may or may not have influence. It does not travel all the way through, as it's been explained, and it is not as long as the other, but that at least provides a per square foot value whereupon you can work and establish a new value, which is completely at your discretion in establishing that value.
So what is the square footage? Because my math would be that was 50 cents per square foot then. If he said 4,500 and we went to 3,000, it was 75 cents, that'd be 50 cents. Am I wrong? Eric? Okay. I'm just trying to, I actually did math right for once in my entire life, so.
Your Honor, just another point that I might bring up, the council did require the applicant to pay for that fair market analysis before. And if you are looking for consistency, I think that clarification should occur if the city should be hiring the person to perform that fair market analysis or if the applicant should.
Well, and I guess there's also a little bit of a difference too, and I'm not trying to say this makes a huge difference, but when you're talking about a church or a nonprofit versus a for-profit organization, but then again, it also is kind of a church, and so that also is an interesting idea. I like the idea of a market analysis, and I do recall that one of the biggest difficulties was not having a comparable. And now they do have a comparable to look at. I guess I'm just a little bit worried that we're going to be, rather than using the information we have, which is taking 50 cents, you know, kind of like you're saying, Councilwoman Johnson, taking 50 cents per square foot, you figure out the square foot, you multiply them, and then you say this is what we're going to charge. That seems like that would make sense, and that might be what the market analysis comes back with. But
That's what I'm saying. As long as we're consistent with, we're still requiring payment for the vacation of the property. But I just want to make sure that it's comparable to what St. Margaret's would have gotten to. So one's not, he had a difficult time comparing anything with it. So
But
I just want to be fair no matter what we do with it.
And I think that's a really good point. But I guess where the market analysis comes in is that helps us be fair, I think, because they do have the comparable, but there's aspects of that that are different, including the size, including that it's a dead end, including that it's both, you know, we've got residential and commercial there. So I think there's a benefit to it, even if he comes back and says, look, this is the best I can give you. I
Something
think
to work
maybe
with.
to be,
Your Honor.
be fair with it.
Consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's exactly the word that I was going to use is, and then, you know, we definitely don't want to be arbitrary or capricious or have any illusion of that. So if, you know, one property owner approaches us in the future, they're getting treated exactly the same as the previous property owner.
Just one other question. Is there going to be access for emergency services? Yeah. Should they be needed?
Yes, Mayor and Council. Again, I'm the owner of the Lot 1A Stover Addition. My intent is that alley already has right-of-way for utilities and all that kind of stuff, so it will not be blocked in any way. The Stovers who live south of that still will have access to the alley, and the public will too. My intent is just to make it so I can pave it and keep it cleaned up and not have a weed patch and make it all look nice. And it's a dead end, so it's not like there's any traffic there to speak of. The garbage truck comes through once a week and dumps the garbage, and that's about it, so.
So we're still going to have that access for
Yes.
trash, for utilities, but your intention is actually to better it without having the city to pay for it. Okay.
Done. Call for the vote.
We could discuss that if you like.
It's a hard
good.
sell.
I think we're good. Yeah.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Toman was able to just look at the square footage of the alley. It's a 4,000 square foot alley, so therefore, at 50 cents, you're
2,000.
could establish a $2,000 valuation if you didn't want to go and request the applicant go through the fair market analysis process.
Well, and it's always hard because we have the information from the first fair market analysis, so it doesn't seem fair to make somebody else have to pay for that. But at the same time,
Did St. Margaret's have to pay for it?
yeah, they did, if I
Well, then
recall
we
correctly.
We need to remain consistent then.
Your Honor, the valuation was provided as a service by the person that provided it. They did not ask for compensation.
Oh, I see.
But we still required it. So it's a hard question. That's why we have a council of a whole four of us up here.
My recommendation would be to remain consistent. If we required the previous to do it, then we should require this as well.
Okay. That's what the motion was at this point, I think.
I would agree.
And do we have to have any clarification as to who's going to bear the cost of that? I think the motion was just that that would be required. Do we need an amendment or something to make that clear, or no?
Could be in the minutes.
Okay. All right. Thank you for the additional information. Any other questions, comments? Thank you for the discussion, helpful. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. I vote aye. Motion passes. Thank you. Are you done? Coming back up?
I'm out.
All right, next item up, we have public hearing and consideration of ordinance 25008, first reading, Nevin Circle vacation. Community Development Director's report, please.
Your Honor, members of the council, yes, we have another vacation petition for us tonight. This is for the vacation of the Nevin Circle located in the Nevin Estates. For your information, that's located if you go down Federal to Monroe and you take a left, it's just a half a block off on the north side of Monroe, on the east side of Federal there. We do the petitioners again with this. They do consist of all the required property owners in the area for the public street. And the petition has been put forth, though, by the family, the Gizzy Trust from the Nevin Estates, so they can improve the ability to market and sell their lots in the Nevin Estates. The Nevin Estates is zoned R2. It was originally recorded in 1986 with the intent to develop the property. But since that time, none of the lots have sold, and Nevin Circle has not been developed. So there's no one's paved a street or anything there. And again, just like the previous item, according to Wyoming Statute 154305, the governing body has the exclusive power and by ordinance may vacate the highway or street. And important note with this is in 2016, the city of Riverton attempted to relinquish this street by approving Resolution 1341. However, if going back to this statute 154305, it actually has to be relinquished according to an ordinance. So, and the city attorney concurred with this determination, so that's why we're here tonight. Again, all the property owners are petitioning for this. That represents 100% majority. Utility reviews were sent to all the utility companies, and we received no concerns from the utility companies. I would also like to address, we just finished discussing consideration. I would like to make a recommendation to the mayor and council tonight that we do not charge for the vacation for this due to the situation that occurred in 2016, so that we do not charge the family for something that should have taken place in 2016. The vacation was approved by the Planning Commission on July 17th, 2025. And that's it, Your Honor.
Thank you. Administrative Services Director, if you could please read ordinance 25008 by title only.
Yes, Your Honor. Proposed ordinance number 25-008, an ordinance vacating a public right-of-way platted as Nevin Circle of the Nevin Estates Addition, a minor subdivision to the city of Riverton, Wyoming.
I'd entertain a motion to open a public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Carr with the motion, Councilman Bailey with the second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. I vote aye. Motion passes. I declare the public hearing open. Hearing will be conducted in accordance with state statutes and other applicable laws. I'd ask those individuals wishing to address the council on this item that you would approach the podium, identify yourself for the record. Anyone in the audience that wishes to speak? You are a very chipper bunch tonight.
Seeing none, Your Honor, I'd move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Carr, second by Councilman Bailey to close the public hearing. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. I declare the public hearing closed. I'd entertain a motion to adopt ordinance 25008 on first reading.
So moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Johnson with the motion. Councilman Carr with the second. Discussion.
Your Honor,
Yes, ma'am.
I would agree with Mr. Michaud that this A family is not charged on this vacation due to city error in 2016, correct? They've spent an exorbitant amount of money trying to get this corrected over the last few years, and I think that that would be in good faith to not charge them that.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that, Mr. Michaud? How did that come about? I wasn't on the council yet, I don't think. No, I wasn't.
Remember this one?
Your Honor, so I was not here in 2016, but it feels to me like this was part of a plan to replat the subdivision, which they've been trying to do for several years, as Councilman Johnson just mentioned. And so the family's been working really hard. The owners are getting older, and they really would like to sell the property, and so they need to replat the property, and as the first step to do that is they have to abandon Nevin Circle because it's already been set as a road in the subdivision.
Your Honor.
Mr. Butterfield?
Oh.
Sorry, he caught my
Go
eye
ahead.
first.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sorry, Councilman.
You're fine.
And a little bit more detail on this. It's important to note that the public asset was never constructed, so it hasn't been utilized by the public. It hasn't been a benefit of the public since it was platted in the 80s when Mr. Michaud communicated. Going back to 2016, this was something the Community Development Director at the time, Sandy Loers, worked on, and Administrator Stephen Weaver. And as we went back and looked at the statutes, I believe they were able to use sound reason with the course of action they proposed, in that there is a section of statute that states that certain sections of the plat can be abandoned or eliminated, and it does state after the manner as communicated in another section of statute. So we went back to that other section of statute, and it did say by resolution. And so there was a potential conflict in how the statute was interpreted in 2016 as it related to ordinance versus resolution. As Mr. Michaud looked at this, and as I had opportunity to discuss with him, and also Mr. Sollers, we just felt that the ordinance that was the clearest as it related to powers of a municipality related to the ordinance that was referenced to you. And while there is a reference to doing this action by resolution, it's not as strong or as clear, and so this is probably the best course of action for the record. And this is something that has been lingering for a long time, and it's time to just get it taken care of, I think.
So to be clear, what's different about this with the other ones is, number one, this has never been improved. This has never been developed in any way. We're just talking about something that exists as a circle on paper, and we're trying to make sure, dot all our i's, cross all our t's, and make sure that we're doing this the right way. And this is really, in terms of them being able to subdivide it or the highest and best use of the property, this is your recommendation in terms of that. Is that correct, Mr. Michaud?
Your Honor, that's a great summary, yes, that Nevin Circle has been dedicated, and I think what you said is pretty correct.
Okay. I just want to be clear because, you know, I don't want somebody to look at this in the future because we want to make sure we're even-handed. Look at this in the future and say, okay, so we've had 2 alleys that are vacated. Now we're going to vacate a public street, and we're going to require them to pay, but not require them to pay. This is something where we've already said we've done it and had communicated and thought we had successfully done it. We're just trying to make sure that what we did in 2016 is done right. Okay. Anything else? I made that longer and more complicated than it need to be, but I,
Your Honor, just real quick, I was actually on the Planning Commission in 2016 when we passed this, so when it got brought up with the current Planning Commission, I was at the meeting and I said, why are we doing this? This was taken care of. However, in 2016, it did go to the council under the recommendation of the Planning Commission in the form of a resolution versus the ordinance, so there was no public hearing, there was no 3 readings, and that's what we're trying to accomplish tonight, so.
perfect. Well, let it never be said that Riverton, Wyoming is not trying to make sure that we are transparent and we're doing things right and having sufficient meetings for people to speak their minds.
We do anyway.
Yeah. You're saying people say that, or we do that?
We do that.
All right, sounds good. Anything else? Thank you for the clarification. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. I vote aye. Motion passes. Consideration of bid, street sweeper. I just want to say how excited I am for this. Go ahead. That is
you,
Public
Mr.
Works
Mayor.
Director.
Your Honor, and members of the council, the city staff recommends that the city council approve the purchase of a new dual-engine regenerative air sweeper. In the adoption of the 25-26 budget, the city council authorized the purchase of the street sweeper at the request of the Public Works Department. The city council budgeted $397,000 for the total project, which included the procurement of the vehicle plus the installation of the required equipment. So the cabin chassis of the vehicle plus all the street sweeping equipment. This procurement was initiated through a competitive bid process. The bids were advertised starting July 2nd and closed on July 17th. The bid opening was then held on July 17th, and 3 bids were received and opened publicly and read aloud. There was one out-of-state vendor there with us here tonight with Intermountain Sweeping Company, and then 2 in-state vendors. And then, of course, Wyoming state statute requires that you add a 5% preference for the out-of-state vendor, putting that vendor in as the highest bid. The 2 lower bids were from Floyd's Trucking Center for one new dual-engine regenerative air sweeper at amount of $427,644. And the lower bid was from Torgerson Equipment for the same, for a dual-engine regenerative air sweeper at $368,265. The lowest bid, I will point out, the lowest bid did not meet more than 20% of the bid specifications. Sorry. Thank you. And along with that, was therefore a lot of the specifications were crossed out, some were left blank. So therefore, the staff deemed it not responsive to the specifications that were put out. These specifications were developed to meet the best daily operations that we experience in the city. City of Riverton does have more cobble and rock that comes onto the street from dirt roads, and then also gravel driveways. And then a lot of leaves that is the reason for the regenerative air sweeper as well. But in that best interest, the department wanted to protect this long-term investment, put out this bid. And 2 examples of kind of the longevity and seeking longevity, and also a bid that will meet the city's needs is what was requested was a multi-passed centrifugal dust separator, and this will be the primary air clean method of this actual sweeper, which operates as a sweeper, but also like a shop vac as well. It'll clean the streets very well, and then so then the dust separator then would keep the kind of the working mechanism free of debris and kind of contribute to a longer life of the street sweeper. So we've also asked for one other specification. In there is the opening size should be less than 1/4 inch, so when then debris is pulled into the chamber of the street sweeper, that a lot of our chip seal streets won't take that chip and put it right into the suction device of the street sweeper, and then therefore cause premature failure, which we've experienced with our previous street sweepers. So I'll just point out a few of those. At this point, though, the city staff does recommend that the council award for the street sweeper to Floyd's Truck Center as the lowest responsible bid. And then also realize that this is about $30,000 over what was budgeted for this actual street sweeper. But this does come from the sanitation fund, which is a healthy fund. This is also the only capital item that did come from that sanitation enterprise fund. And so there is unobligated, we would ask for unobligated, unbudgeted cash to be used to pay for that overage as well. So, any questions? I also have Lane Davis here too, the Fleet and Sanitation Supervisor, that would help out with any questions from the council as well. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'd entertain a motion to approve the purchase of a new dual-engine regenerative air sweeper. I guess you'd have to specify which provider from.
Your Honor, I would move to accept the lowest responsive bidder from Floyd's Truck Center for one new dual-engine regenerative air sweeper.
Okay.
In conjunction with the additional funding needed to purchase the equipment.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Councilman Carr, second by Councilman Bailey. Any discussion on this?
Your Honor,
Councilwoman Johnson?
I had sent an email, and I was hoping that we had some additional information on the cost to rent or contract for a street sweeper. Were you able to obtain any of that information?
Absolutely, I did, yep, yeah. Your Honor, I did put together a little bit of analysis on renting equipment. It also turns out that the folks that would be the most advantageous to rent from are in the audience as well with Intermountain Street Sweeping out of Salt Lake. Will provide a street sweeper for a monthly charge of about $14,000. That then bringing the sweeper to Riverton and away from Riverton, and then all the maintenance would be included on top of that price as well. If this is something the council wanted to consider, street sweeping should occur at least 6 months out of the year. We've got a lot of complaints lately, and that's when we've gone over a kind of a monthly kind of cycle to clean. Fortunately, 71 Construction has helped us out. YDOT has helped us out. With that, we're looking at a cost about $80,000 a year to rent, to bring an equipment up here, and then for 6 months. This is something to consider, $84,000 each year for a street sweeper on the rental cost.
And does that include the costs that we put forth for somebody to operate that, train it, insurance, all of that? So that doesn't include the savings on that?
It does
To
not.
have somebody else operate it. So if I may, we do a budget for a reason, and we need to stay within that budget. My recommendation would be to rent for at least 2 months for the remainder of the year and rebudget next year appropriately for this extra cost. I'm not a big fan of pulling from unobligated funds. I think that those funds need to remain where they are to handle emergent situations. And I think that we've gotten ourselves into pickles before doing stuff like this, spending more than what we've budgeted for, and then when a break comes up, we're not able to fix it, or it costs more than what we have. To have the confidence of knowing that a street sweeper will always be there, or we can, I guess what I'm trying to say is the problem doesn't become the city's to maintain and make sure that it's there. We just always know $14,000 a month to me to ensure that that service is provided is cost effective.
Yeah, I was expecting more. I'm impressed with that as a quote.
And especially where we only need it 6 months out of the year.
Right. Tell me, I guess, so it wasn't that long ago that we bought a street sweeper.
Your Honor, 2018.
So we got about 7 years out of it.
Correct.
So if we were going to, I mean, would you consider that a typical life of a street sweeper?
In the one we purchased, this is probably average. This one we're looking at now is a different brand, kind of the originator of the kind of technology that we put together. We were looking for closer to 8, even maybe 9 years for a sweeper. Is that too much? 9 to 10. Okay.
You could come up, yeah.
Thank you. I'm Mike Kerr with Intermountain Sweeper Company. We're the high bid. We bid simply knowing that we wouldn't be with the 5% bid preference. but we are working with Floyd's. Part of that is I was here 7 years ago in this exact same situation. And the reason I'm here tonight is because I didn't want to get burned the same way I did last time. You purchased this unit 14 years ago, without naming names. It's a competitive brand, and they didn't have great luck with it because they didn't do their homework. We bid and worked with the director at the time 7 years ago, excuse me, and they gave us full confidence that they would stand behind the bid specifications, and they did not. And you ordered a second unit that is now currently out of state, down because it's an inferior product. It cannot separate the dust the same way that we do, and you get what you pay for. The huge disparity in the prices are because they cannot do what we can do. We have proprietary features. And so, excuse me, as we worked with Dan Adcock, getting to this point, and Lane as well, we demonstrated that product to show you what it can do. And unfortunately, it is a little bit more expensive. We didn't plan for that way, but you are you're down now. The complaints with the city are clear that we're struggling to keep on top of that. We will do our part in the rental rates to get you up and running and do our part to eat those labor costs until that truck can be built. But I wanted to at least draw your attention to that aspect, that their low bid is not always best bid. And so you've had 2 trucks for a total of 14 years from dealers that won't support you. And we are here to represent and to show you that we're interested in that, and we know our ability to stand behind that and keep you up and running is that way. Most trucks get to about a 7-year replacement program and need to be replaced. We have lots of trucks in the neighborhood. We're here tonight because we're delivering Grable's truck to them in the morning. They're on their 3rd truck from us. Powell, just north of you, has 7,000 hours on their current truck that we delivered. We are confident that you can do that, but we do need you to spend a little bit of money to make it the right way. Any other questions I can answer? I'm here.
Mr. Bailey?
So, sir, you said you were working with Floyd's. Is that the same brand that you're?
So they're the truck, the town, City of Riverton would like to stick with Riverton. They have a great, the front for Freightliner chassis, and Floyd's is that dealer. We, 7 years ago, bid it direct because we supply our own chassis and we're unaware of the 5% bid preference, and that was kind of our fault for being uneducated. We're working with Floyd's this time to make sure that our product is bid that way. So they are low bid. It is still our product. I don't represent Floyd's, but he'll supply the chassis and we'll mount this.
So they're supplying the truck and chassis, you're supplying the equipment to them?
Correct.
For the package that they've presented?
He'll order the chassis and deliver it to the Timco dealership, and we'll get you trained and supported.
And then, if I may, the lease cost, you had mentioned $14,000 per month, but you said that's plus maintenance and mobilization, I assume?
Our flat rate on our rental trucks, they eat dirt and rocks and chip their whole life. There's a lot of wear and tear. Mm-hmm. When you do it right, it's okay, but the distance and those things, our normal rate's $12,000 a month. The 14 is the labor to get it to and from. We'd be happy to adjust that numbers to make it as convenient as we can for you, but at some point, there's still a cost associated with that.
So you, I'm just speaking hypothetically here, so you would bring us a street sweeper in the spring and we would use it all summer and you would take it back in the fall, or would we? 12 months a year?
The conversations that we had was just a monthly rental to bring it by, get the leaves and the rocks cleaned up before the snow fell, and then you could, we would pick it up as well. So it would just be a 1 month rental on that.
Okay, so we're not talking about doing this long-term?
No, just to get you by until the new truck arrived.
Till our truck would be built?
Yeah,
basically?
yeah.
Okay.
And we could do it on a monthly basis as needed. If we get to January or February and we need that before the truck arrives, then we can have that discussion as well.
How's it pick up snow if it's gonna be January?
Really well. It's great.
They're heavy. Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Councilman Carr.
Just maybe a couple questions. I'm assuming the research done for the budgetary request was several months old at least. I'm actually a little shocked that it's only 30,000 over, just given current economic climate. In a 10-year useful lifespan, I think we'd be far better ahead owning.
That's kind of like, it's almost like thinking about owning or leasing a car, right? If you were going to lease a car, you've got expense associated with that, but you save some. But long-term, if you're looking at, I mean, even if you take 84,000 times 7, you're at 588,000, which is 160,000 more. But the point wasn't to do this as a long-term thing, I think, from Councilwoman Johnson. The point was, if we're over what we had budgeted for this, then an option would be to use their street sweeper for a period of time, and then get this in the budget for next year and budget it higher, knowing that we might need to go higher. What are your thoughts about that, Mr. Tolman?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman.
Trying to put you on the spot and make you have to comment.
Yeah, a couple things to, I think.
Thank you very much, sir.
These are all very good questions, and I think a couple of things to consider. My math was a little bit on the not very conservative side. You realize that 84,000 would be for only 6 months out of the year, and so I was assuming maybe April to October. The other thing to consider, if you have a unit here and we have a event here, we can pull that unit out anytime and clear the street. Or if we have one of our trucks that spills material down the road, which often happens, we can pull the street sweeper out and take care of it. What I envision happening is that there's something that comes up in early April, or we have a bad storm, spring storm or something like that. We need a street sweeper. We have to go to Intermountain, let's say, and we sweep everything, but we need to pick that up in March. And then what do we do? Do we keep that until October? Do we send it back for a couple months? So you don't have anything on hand at that point. And then as we discussed too, that was that was for kind of a help. I don't know if that was a price just for the city of Riverton for rental of that unit. And then I didn't research if there's additional prices too, as far as the maintenance and repairs. That on top of that, I think I did state that too. So you don't have that luxury of a unit here in town. So.
Your Honor.
Councilman Bailey?
I guess I would agree with Mr. Carr that the $30,000 is a lot of money, but if we wait till next year, it's probably going to be $460,000 that we have to pay for a street sweeper. So, and then my other question is, okay, so if we order this street sweeper right now, what is the lead time on when we would expect to get one?
About between 8 and 9 months. is what
Okay,
we're
so it's not going to be here this summer.
And the problem, correct, and the problem would be if you do delay the price, there will be a price increase, and your truck is currently out of town with no adjustment, no price affixed to it. You're looking at $40,000 to fix your current broken truck, and then that puts you out another year without having another truck. So it exponentially gets much more expensive if you don't purchase now.
So I guess that's my point is, we're not going to get street sweeper till next spring anyway, at which time, if we need to, we could put that in. We probably won't be paying for it until next budget year, so it's probably going to roll over anyway. So I think we could readjust our budget by the 30th if we aren't comfortable taking it out of reserves, which I think we are okay. So again, I would strongly think that we should go ahead and get this going. And then if staff feels like they need some street sweeping this summer, I think we could look at the lease, a short-term lease to get us by this year, because we don't want to go into winter with the streets full of sand and dirt and junk, so.
Got it. Any other discussion? You had something, Councilwoman Johnson, right when Councilman Bailey had chirped in.
Yeah,
Chipped in.
I strongly disagree. I think that we set budgets for a reason. And it seems like we're constantly asking for more, or we didn't budget, or prices have gone up. And I believe the policy says that if we are going to enact services or ask for services, that we have to put that out for bid as well. Is that correct, Kyle? If we're looking, because I would like to know if there's other services out there that do conduct this, and if it is comparable, or if it's cheaper or higher, or I'd like to be able to compare that. I understand the want to, that there's differences between wants and needs, and we want a street sweeper. We need a street sweeper, but I think that, I mean, how long have we been without one already?
About 4 months.
So we've gone 4 months without a street sweeper, but we've had the help of YDOT and whoever else, correct?
And I think YDOT's expending their budget at this point, they've told me.
Right.
Yeah.
I would really like to explore the option of renting and at least get estimates or bids from other companies to see if it's comparable to, we need to save money where we can. The city's not in any position financially to keep shoveling money out.
Got it.
Your Honor. And just as a point of information, Councilwoman Johnson is correct. Pursuant to our procurement policy, any purchases that range between $3,000 and $75,000 require 3 quotes, and we should make every effort to receive those quotes. And then we also have a preference for local that we have in our own internal policy for those quotes. Oh, and I was going to make another point as far as getting by as the street sweeper we currently have is down and away for repairs. We have been fortunate to have partnerships. There also is an individual in town that has a smaller mechanical sweeper that is typically used for parking lots. It's not usually the best fit for curb lines, but we did contract with that individual to at least help us get some of the gutters clean in the spring, because that's a very critical time for our community. Because as Mr. Tillman mentioned, we have unpaved alleys, we have opportunity for a lot of silt and gravel to migrate into our roads, whereas some communities in other states or other communities just don't have a similar situation with that migration. A lot of it is it's just different. But that's how we've handled it as we worked through this period without the sweeper.
Okay. Well, thank you for all the discussion, some good ideas. Are we ready to vote? Anything else? Okay, all in favor of approving the purchase pursuant to the bid with Floyd's Truck Center, correct? $427,644. Say aye.
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 Those opposed say nay.
Nay?
I vote aye. Motion passes. Thank you for the discussion. Consideration of bid, and thank you for being here from Intermountain Sweeper Company. Appreciate you giving us some information and being willing to make the drive down, and I'm sure there's going to be a point where we're going to be able to. I hear that, and I appreciate that, and I will say, as the only bidders that are in the audience, that's impressive to me, so I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Okay, consideration of bid, Willow Creek Improvement Project. Public Works Director's report, please.
Thank you, Your Honor, and members of the council. The city staff would recommend the city council award the Willow Creek Elementary Safe Route to School Sidewalk Project to Alexander Excavation, Inc. in the amount of $682,849. This project is part of a transportation alternative project, which was formerly Safe Routes to School. This is sponsored by the Whiteout Local Programs Office. This project does consist of about 1,800 linear feet of curb and gutter, about 1,400 square yards of concrete, making up an 8-foot sidewalk that goes from Riverview Road to Willow Creek School. Also 620 feet of storm drain pipe, and then 3 storm drain inlets and 400 square yards of concrete valley gutters. The city of Riverton matches these funds. This was a grant that was put in 2023. The city of Riverton matches this grant at a rate of 9.51%. The project was put out for engineering selection in 2023. The council voted for the selection of the consultant. Excuse me, that's the word I'm looking for, and that went to James Gores and Associates. James Gores and Associates then passed the bid off to city staff, who took that out to bid, and we were able to open that bid on June 28th of 2025 of this year. Excuse me. One bid was received at that point in time, that was Alexander Excavation. There is, and then I will just state that along with that, after the bid was open, we received whiteout concurrence to award this. This was an $800,000 grant. About $118,000 has been spent up to this point, with $110,000 paid for from the whiteout office. So that leaves plenty to cover the construction of this grant, and I'd recommend that the City Council award this to Alexander Excavation, Inc. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd entertain a motion to award the Willow Creek Elementary Safe Routes to School, well, I guess, is it, yeah, Safe Routes to School TAP Sidewalk Project to Alexander Excavation, Inc. in the amount of $682,849.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Carr, second by Councilwoman Pearson Lewis. Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. I vote aye, motion passes. Consideration of bid, digital messaging boards. Public Works Director's report, please. We're just going to turn the rest of the meeting over to you, Mr. Tolman, because we have more.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you for this time. This messaging board is, at this point in time, the city staff would ask that the city council approve 2 digital message boards, signs from Safety Supply and Safety Supply and Sign Company, in the amount of $35,534. This was budgeted last year at $24,000. Those budget numbers came from signs that weren't, they were truck-mounted signs. And it was a quick budget number that was grabbed and thought that we could get some signs to put on trucks. We later found that those won't work for the city, what the city wants to use those for. If you want to put those out on the street and you want to have that sign to say construction coming in 2 weeks, move your cars, for instance, or paving on Riverview Road, then these trailer mounted signs are the best to go. We could have purchased one sign, but one sign doesn't cover 2 ends of a project. So at this point, Mr. Butterfield did state the city procurement policy. City staff went out and received or solicited quotes. We received 2 quotes where we asked for 3. One was from Safety Sign Supply and Sign Company for the mini matrix message board sign. That was for the $35,534. The second was from Keyhole Technologies, the same 2 signs for $38,390. For these 2 signs, the city council did approve in the last meeting 2 other capital projects that saved money in the same line item. So there is a savings in that line item of $13,175. That would more than cover the $11,000 overage of what these 2 signs are. So that was a weed and pest tractor, and then that was also a work truck in the last one. So the recommendation is to use the available funds along with the amount that was budgeted for these signs to cover the 2 signs from the quotes that were provided. Thank you.
Okay. I'd entertain a motion to approve the purchase of 2 digital message board signs from Safety Supply and Sign Company in the amount of $35,534.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Bailey, second by Councilman Carr. Discussion.
So we are still operating within budget.
Yeah. Call for the question.
Yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay.
Nay.
I vote aye. Motion passes. Consideration of bid, wastewater treatment plant clarifier project. Mr. Toman?
Thank you, Your Honor, members of the council. The recommendation for this project is that the city council approve the purchase of a procurement of a clarifier mechanism at the wastewater treatment plant. to West Tech Engineering LLC in the amount of $522,191. This utilizes grant monies from the Community Development Authority, WCDA. With those grant monies, HDR Engineering was hired to provide localized condition assessment of the wastewater treatment plant, as well as a design bid of the replacement of one or both clarifier mechanisms and UV disinfection equipment. This grant is a zero match by the city of Riverton, an almost $2.6 million grant. In the spring of this year, the mechanism number one clarifier failed at the wastewater plant, and this caused us to expedite the replacement of the mechanism. This clarifier mechanism is about 90 feet in diameter. It's housed in one of the two dome buildings that are at the wastewater treatment plant. At that time, HDR offered to conduct a pre-procurement of a new mechanism prior to a general contractor being selected to do the larger project. WCDA concurred with this process, our funding partner, and then the request of bids were sent out on July 5th. Bids were open after a 2-week advertisement period. Bids were received and publicly read aloud. The lowest bidder had crossed out a couple items regarding the expediency of receiving the bid, but then HDR followed up with the lower bidder to find out that they were responsive and they could meet an acceptable timeframe. HDR worked with city staff and then provided their recommendation to recommend to West Tech. The two bids that were received are from West Tech. They're a Utah company in the amount of $522,191, excuse me. The second bid was from Envirodyne for $791,000, and that's even $791,000. The engineer, HER, did estimate that this should cost about $622,000. So the lower bid is about $104,000 lower than the estimate, and then this pre-procurement will come from that $2.6 million that is allocated for the wastewater treatment plant. And HDR is using the money that that has been already appropriated for their engineering fees to cover this work. So I'd entertain, be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. I'd entertain a motion to approve the purchase of the procurement of a clarifier mechanism at the wastewater treatment plant to West Tech Engineering in the amount of $522,191.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Bailey with the motion, Councilman Carr with the second. Discussion. All right. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. I vote aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Toman. And with that, you could stop talking now. Not that it was a problem that you were talking. That was the
I'm
last
relieved.
one.
Thank you.
You've done very well tonight. Thank you for making things easier for us. Fiscal year 25 audit, non-attest services engagement agreement, Wade HIRSCHI, CPA PC, Administrative Services Director's report, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Before you this evening is a recommendation to approve the engagement of Wade HIRSCHI, CPA PC, to perform the non-attest services for the fiscal year 2025 in preparation for the city's annual audit. As background, the city contracts with an independent CPA to assist with the non-attest services, which typically include year-end closing entries, account reconciliations, adjustments, and the preparation of our financial statements. These tasks are essential to ensure the city is audit-ready and compliant with applicable reporting standards. Mr. HIRSCHI has successfully performed these services for the city in past years. His familiarity with our accounting systems, internal controls, processes, and audit requirements have supported the city in meeting both state and federal reporting guidelines. Engaging Mr. HIRSCHI again this year will provide consistency and efficiency in audit prep. His established relationship with the staff and the city auditors adds value and minimizes the disruption during our year-end activities. A copy of the fiscal year 2025 engagement letter has been included in your packet for review. And I would note that funding for this engagement has already been included in the fiscal year 2026 budget, and it is within the budget that you have set. This proposal does fall within the approved budget, and engaging Mr. HIRSCHI will help secure meeting our reporting timelines for the end of the fiscal year. And with that, I would stand for any questions you would have.
Thank you. I'd entertain a motion to approve Wade HIRSCHI, CPA PC, to perform the non-attest services for the fiscal year 2025 in preparation for the city's annual audit.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Carr, second by Councilman Bailey. Discussion. How long have we been using non-attest services for preparation for the audit?
This would be our fourth year, Your Honor. Historically, our CPA firm has performed the non-attest services and the financial and compliance audit, but really there needs to be a separation of duties, because essentially what they were doing was performing the non-attest services and then auditing their own work. So now we have separated it out by hiring the CPA to perform that portion of the audit as far as the prep work, and then the auditing firm, Klinger Hagerman, which you just approved in the last meeting, performs the financial and compliance audit, the PFC audit, and the single audit for our federal reporting guidelines.
I mean, I guess before this, and I can understand something like this, for example, well, good case in point, this would have been a good idea with the rec board, right? They've not had consistency with a treasurer, and then, being able to figure out how to respond and deal with the audit and that sort of thing. I guess tell me, for an organization that has a finance department and everything, what do you see as the benefit to having the services?
The benefit for us is the time-consuming process and the double-checking the accuracy of our figures. So our city staff still right now provides a lot of the audit preparation work. They call for hundreds of files of random sampling and documents. So we pull the reports together, we prepare some of the spreadsheets, but Mr. HIRSCHI will perform our closing entries, our journal entries for us. He'll review our schedule of expenditures for federal awards for accuracy, and just do most of the closing entries that a normal CPA would perform. And we do not have a staff CPA here at the city, so he does take care of that for us. He also, last year, started preparing our F-66 report for us as required by the State Department of Audit, which is something that I had always done in the past. It would take me a day or two to get through it, and he worked phenomenally with that, just picked up right where I left off, so he's doing that for us as well.
Okay, good. Just asking questions. Any other comments, discussion, questions, concerns? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. I vote aye. Motion passes. Introduction and oath of office. Thank you very much, Ms. Harris. Introduction and oath of office. Dispatcher. Police chief's report, please. Hey, how was it? Was it fun?
Doesn't
don't
look
have
like
to-
you got done.
Cheshire Cat.
Fun is yeah, it's a good term.
Did we have people dunking you? That's really the big question, chief.
Actually, no.
Oh.
Several of my staff members did participate in the dunk tank. But because of me not going to the dunk tank, I also had some help preparing tonight's presentation. We are, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to spend an extra 30 seconds maybe on the presentation, because my staff helped write this one.
Okay. Okay. I'd love to hear.
And if I can have all my staff.
Elizabeth's trying to disappear.
So my youngest just turned 6, and we read Dr. Seuss a lot. Tonight, apparently we had some help with Dr. Seuss, and like I said, if I can spend an extra 30 seconds on the presentation of our new member, Your Honor, if I may.
Yes, please.
In a town called Battle Creek, not too far, not too near, a girl named Sarah Shasma did first appear. With eyes full of wonder and dreams in her pack, she grew up in Summers, where Wyoming calls back. She marched off with courage, bold as can be, and joined the brave ranks of the proud USMC. With helicopters whirling and engines that roared, she served overseas, her spirit just soared. A hero, a helper, a world-traveled star, she found life's next mission, not very far. A daughter named Sydney, her pride and her joy. With laughter and love, nothing could destroy. She traded her boots for a headset and screen and joined the dispatch, staying calm and serene. In Calhoun, she answered each call with great care, a voice in the dark, always bravely right there. But life on the airways had more yet to give. She moved on to Riverton, ready to live. Still helping, still guiding through the storm, fire, or fright. Sarah's the voice that brings calm to the night. So here's Miss Shasma, strong, fierce, and true. There's simply no limit to what she can do. She brings with us over 14 years experience working in a regional dispatch center. And tonight, I'd like to introduce our new dispatcher, and helping tonight, our lead dispatcher, Sarah Nelson, will pin the badge, and after that, Your Honor, we can have her sworn in.
Such a good job.
I think there was a bad weather I was going to go through with it or not.
Yeah. Are we good?
Good. Stand up front, and then Mayor, it's all yours.
Sarah, sorry I called you Elizabeth. Is your middle name Elizabeth? Okay, see? I had it like in my brain. It was
Too
weird.
many Sarahs.
No, it's just. All right. You could raise your right hand and repeat after me. You can follow this. After I say I want you to say your name.
Oh,
I'm not going to say your name, partly because I don't know if I'm going to pronounce it correctly, and I feel bad if I do that.
That's okay.
I
I, Sarah Schaafsma,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the State of Wyoming
the Constitution of the State of Wyoming
and the Constitution of the United States,
and the United States,
that I have not knowingly violated any law related
and I have not knowingly violated any law related
to my appointment,
to my appointment,
nor caused it to be done by others,
nor caused it to be done by others,
that I will discharge the duties of my office
and I will discharge the duties of my office
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
All right? Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Welcome to the United States. All right, you can, oh man, it's 2025. It's been a long day. And if you want, you can shake everyone's hand. I know they'd love to meet you.
Welcome aboard. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Dr. Chief?
That was excellent.
Yeah.
I appreciate all the work my staff has done to help me prepare for tonight and the job that they did tonight with the National Night Out. It was a success. I think we served probably over 500-600 meals tonight, lots of prizes, and I think it was a great success. And most of all, thank you to the fire department for helping us out and hosting the event. And over my left shoulder, or used to be my left shoulder, a little preview for the next council meeting. We're going to have a new member and his family at the next meeting. So with that, Your Honor, we'll postpone that one until his family can be here.
That's great. And we're excited to have you aboard, Lieutenant, and look forward to getting you sworn in. Thank you. And thank you guys for sticking around, and Sarah Nelson for putting up with the fact that I randomly decided to call you by your middle name today. All right. We need an executive session, and I would love to consider a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Oh.
Okay,
Gauntlet.
that's 20 balls.
Good. Yeah,
You got it, Ms. Wright. I'm a man of my word.
that's gonna be.
F clef, maybe half to F clef, half to Eagles Hope. I don't know. You guys kind of sort it out.
And we would be able to move the city council meeting to a different night on a one-time occasion.
Yes.
I think we ought to think about that.
It'd be a
'Cause we'd hate to all
worthwhile.
miss that.
It wouldn't be the first time. And if you want to see me go into cold water, I do it every year at the Jackalope Jump. I just did it at the Rebels Car Show this summer. But I appreciate it, and I will certainly let you throw 20 balls to see if you can. I will say, I want to be able to decide how far away you have to be. I don't want any of this like throwing it like,
Oh, nice. Yes. Watch out, Tim. Watch
okay.
out.
Thank you, Lisa. All right, now do we have a motion to adjourn? We should have done that motion before she said that.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Councilman Card, do we have a second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. We are adjourned at 9:16 PM. Thank you, everyone.
Kyle?
Thank you, council.
Thank you.